Hello everyone. Hello. Can you hear me, everyone? Who is he? Abhinav. और बाकी लोग रिस्पॉन्स करो। पापा को, अंतरी को, नेवी को, उधर से लो, अजमल। हेलो, इमाम को है ना? इमाम को अच्छी वाली ज्वाइन कर लो। हेलो। हेलो।
जल्दी बोलिए, मेरा क्लास स्टार्ट हो रहा है। एग्जाम सेल का कुछ है क्या? हाँ सर। वो आप रतन सर को दे दीजिए, मैं बाद में ले लूंगा। हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So after joining, please, dear students, please write in your chat box your present space, your roll number, so that I can take the attendance from you, attendance of you. Okay.
In the chat box, you just provide your name and roll number as per your respective names, right? Hello. Hello. My voice is maybe audible to you. My voice is clearly audible to you. Audible, right? Okay. So you respond, okay? Because this time I cannot see your face. Only I can hear your voice. So your presence solely within your voice. So you respond so that I can say that you are here. You are listening. You have any warning that you can't know like that. So you can say me. Okay? Okay, everybody? Hello?
Now, students, can you see my screen?
Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
Manometrics, introduction.
You can see my screen, right?
Hello?
Okay. So this class is basically the cloud computing and architecture deployment model lab. So before that, I need to give a few brief understanding regarding the cloud computing. Now, tell me one thing. What do you know about cloud computing? Do you have any idea about cloud computing? Any idea? So you can unmute yourself and give me the answer. Or if you want to write it in the chat box, that is also okay for me.
Or about the different kinds of vegetables that you just like motors. You have some idea? Yes, Sivali. Hello? Yes, Sivali. Hello. What do you think of it? You can write in chat box also.
So what do you mean by cloud computing? You can tell me what do you know from your side.
Okay.
Tell me whatever you know.
So everybody just write me in chat box that you can hear me. Yes, Sivali. understood. Yes, yes, yes. Surely you can hear me. The other, if you can hear me, then write yes.
So cloud computing is basically a server-based computing.
So I guess everyone can hear me, and then I can start. So,
Where
as you know, this paper
entire
is
IT infrastructure
it's all about nanomaterials. So nanomaterials, of course, you can
is
say from
stored
itself, it's a kind of material. What kind of material?
in a
We'll talk about that.
remote location
First, you should know what is material. There are basic materials and
and user
material
can access
a solid and which can be
then control
which have some different property like
and
dimension
maintain
and usually the materials are categorized what
the IT infrastructure
into strategy and what and of course material. Isn't it?
from the remote location.
So, what is crystalline material?
From the
Do you know?
remote
Crystalline
location.
material?
Now you know what is virtualization, right?
What is crystalline
So
material?
can you tell me what is virtualization?
Anything you know? Tell me. Crystalline material.
What is virtualization? Can you tell me? Any one of you.
Yes.
What is virtualization?
See, yes, crystalline.
Sir, minimizing the present resources in a virtual environment.
No. If you ask what is virtualization, the one line answer will be creating. Just a minute. Virtualization is creating virtual
No response from your side.
creating
Yes. Shivani. If the constituent particles are
virtual footprint
repeat it back. Yes. That is the definition
of your
constituent particles means what? The atoms and molecules.
hardware on top of
Yes, definitely. But then
physical system. So what do you mean by the virtual footprint? Already, I think you have seen the earlier we have installed the VMware, right? So where we have installed the VMware, I have my physical system.
have long range of that is very important.
So what do you mean by the physical system? Physical system means my actual system where I have the RAM, I have the processor, I have hard disk over there. So everything is available over there. On top of it, I have installed my VMware, right?
On the other hand, another statement is we do not have that long range of okay. And crystalline materials
On top of it, I have installed VMware. And on top of that VMware, actually, no, sorry. Before VMware, I have another thing. That is my operating system, right? So on top of VMware, I have my operating system, OS. Suppose on top of my physical systems, I have Windows 10 installed. Now on top of that Windows 10, hello, hello, yes, security को दे दीजिए.
And these brains is separated by brain boundaries, right? And in a particular brain, there is particular communication, and that atomic communication
Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so I have the operating system, and on top of that operating systems, I have the VMware I have installed, right?
Yes.
And on top of that VMware, what I have done, that I am installing multiple number of virtual machine. Can you remember that? For VM1, VM2, or VM3. Suppose my VM1 is maybe Windows 7. VM2 maybe Linux. Linux means Ubuntu. And VM3 maybe another Windows 10. We have done this or not earlier? Huh? We have done this now in the lab. So this Windows 7, Windows Ubuntu or Windows 10, what is that? These are the virtual machine. And who is monitoring that virtual machine, or who is controlling that virtual machine? This VMware. So VMware is termed as the virtual machine monitor. During your lab Viva also, I have asked this question several times. Most of the students could not answer. So this one is called VMware or virtual machine monitor. Now, this virtual machine monitor is sometimes called hypervisor also. Hypervisor and virtual machine monitor, both are same. Now, this an entire thing is called actually the virtualization. Means I am creating the virtual footprint of my physical systems. What is virtual footprint? This VMware, VM1, VM2, VM3, these are the virtual footprint of my physical system, where my entire physical thing, that means within each of the virtual machine, you know that I have my RAM, I have my processor, I have my hard disk, right? So everything is available over there, and that virtual footprint is being created on top of my physical hardware, right? So that is the concept of virtualization. Now, is it clear to you? If any confusion is there, please let me know. You can write it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and tell me. After that, I will move further. This virtualization concept is clear to you? If you need further clarification, I am there to clarify again. Please do respond. Is this virtualization concept clear to you, or my voice is audible to you? Okay, so virtualization concept is clear. Now, at the time of creating the virtualization or virtual machine, what we are doing, that we are creating the virtual machine within our local system. This is my local machine. This is my local machine. On top of this local machine, I am installing multiple number of virtual machines, VM1, VM2, VM3, or VM4. Right. So it is taking my space. That is why it is restricting me to create multiple number of virtual machines. Why it is restricting me? Because I have limited amount of hardware capacity, right? I have, suppose in my machine 1 TB of hard disk and 8 GB of RAM, and if I have 2 core or 4 core processor, that case how many virtual machine I can create? Max to max 3 or 4 virtual machine. Though I can create hundreds of virtual machines, but how many virtual machines I can run at a time? Not more than 2 to 3 virtual machines. Otherwise, my entire RAM and processor will get exhausted. Do you agree that or not? So my entire processor or hardware systems will get exhausted. So that is why. Yeah, please. So, what is the best solution if I want to create multiple number of virtual machine? So, if I take a big hardware from a data center, means if I take the server, multiple numbers of server within a data center, that data center is in a remote location, and from that I have purchased or I have borrowed server 1 or server 2, multiple number of servers I am taking from the data center, and from the data center if I share you those servers, that case my job will be much more easier for me. So if I take this data center from a remote location, that concept, that remote location server, this remote location server is basically called the cloud computing. This remote location server is called the cloud computing server. So this is called actually cloud computing. Means if I use the virtualization concept in a remote location data center, that is called cloud computing. Now, if you give the formal definition of cloud computing, you can say that through cloud computing enable us cloud computing okay, fine. So yeah, so this cloud computing, just a minute. Oh, sorry. You should tell me. Now, can you hear me? Now, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Okay. Sorry, you should tell me from the beginning if you cannot hear me. Okay. So the computing infrastructure, the virtual computer, you can create your virtual computer. Means you can create a machine, virtual machine over there from a remote location of any capacity, which is not possible to create in your local machine. In your local machine, if you have 8 GB of RAM, 8 GB of RAM, you have to be satisfied with less than 8 GB of RAM. Means you cannot increase the capacity of your machine more than 8 GB. But if you go for the cloud computing services where if you want to create a virtual machine over there, so you can go for 8 GB of RAM, you can go for 16 GB of RAM. If you want to increase more than that, you can go for 32 GB of RAM, you can go for 64 GB of RAM. Any hardware capacity you want, you can get it. I think a few days ago, I have given one lecture for you people where I have shown you through demo how to create your virtual computing facility in AWS. How many of you have attended that lecture? Please tell me through the chat box. If you have attended that lecture, then please write 1. If you have not attended that lecture, please write 0 so that I can have an idea how many of you have attended that online demo of how to create your virtual computer in AWS. So none of you have attended. Okay, that case I have to show it to you again, right? Okay, no worry, I will show it to you. So cloud computing facility, first of all, it is giving you the service, storage service online. It is giving you to create your computing infrastructure, as already I told, computing infrastructure. Then what else you can do? You can create your networking infrastructure. Networking infrastructure means in how much maximum capacity of bandwidth you can get in your local machine. If you have an Geo network, or if you have an Airtel broadband, or if you have a CityCab broadband, whatever it may be, how much maximum capacity of hardware space you can get. Sorry, network bandwidth you can get. 10 Mbps or 50 Mbps or 100 Mbps or 200 Mbps. Can you give an idea from your local machine, from your infrastructure available in Jorhat or Dhemaji or Dibrugarh, wherever you are there? So how much bandwidth capacity you can get, maximum bandwidth capacity? How much network capacity you can get? Please tell me. कितना मिल सकता है तुमको अगर घर में बैठ के अगर नेटवर्किंग करना चाहते हो तो? How much? You can give the answer in the WhatsApp in your chat box. 10 Mbps. Okay, fine. Harshit has written the 10 Mbps. Then anybody else around 15? Uditka, wow, very good. Then 5 to 10 Mbps. Okay. Be ambitious. Be little bit more ambitious. Okay, Sajad Ahmed. Okay, 10 Mbps. Okay, fine. What about 100 Mbps? Anybody? Have you experienced 100 Mbps or 1 Gbps or 10 Gbps or 100 Gbps? So through cloud computing in AWS itself, not in your host machine, whatever applications you are running in cloud computing services, you can get this much of bandwidth if you want, but you have to pay more for that. What are the other services you can get? These are the infrastructure facility I am talking about. If you want, you can get a software development environment in your cloud computing services. You can get a software development environment. Okay. So what do you mean by that software development environment? Means that suppose you want to create one full stack website, or if you want to go for or you want to go for any web applications, where if it is a full stack development environment, do you know what is full stack development? Anybody? By the way, full stack. So what do you know by full stack development? What is the full form of full stack? What is basically full stack development? This question will be asked to you in the exam. Full stack means not only backend plus front end. It is okay, fine. It is backend. It is backend. Then it is front end. Then in between them there is another layer that is called middleware. So full stack means you have the backend, you have the front end, you have the middleware also. Okay. Now suppose on web application, suppose you want to develop it in PHP. Sorry, not PhD, PHP. Now in PHP based applications you want to develop. Okay. Now in the front end you are using PHP, in the back end you are using MySQL. And in the middleware you want to use Python. For your web application, these are the things are required. Okay. Now, if you want to go for developing this entire software in your what should I say, in your local machine, that case you have to install PHP, you have to install Python, you have to install MySQL first thing. And after that, installing that, you find out that PHP is not supporting my MySQL. Means that you cannot connect the database from PHP with the MySQL. The database connectivity issues I am finding out. Or Python, the version of Python that I have installed over there, it is not working with the PHP and MySQL, none of them. So if this kind of problems comes, what do you have to do? You have to try with the PHP. If this version of Python is not working, that case I have to go with the previous version, or I have to go for the compatible version. I have to find out, so that ultimately, after lots of hard work, I will find out a very good full stack development environment where my PHP in the front end, MySQL in the back end, and in the middleware, my Python is working. Okay, now after a few days, you find out that the Python has got an auto update. Now, if the auto update of Python is done, then with that auto updated Python, your PHP and MySQL, none of them are working with that auto updated Python. Now, what to do with that? So every time you have to work very hard. That means if you want to create a software development environment, and if you are working in a team, you have a collaborative team, 3-4 दो 3-4 दोस्त मिलके आप लोग बना रहे हो, and you find out that in my machine PHP, MySQL and Python is working, my friend's machine it is not working. So have you ever faced this kind of problem? If you face it, then please write 1. If you does not face this kind of problem, please write 0. Okay, that means you have not gone through this kind of problem, right? But my dear friend, when you will go to industry, or if you go to for your startup business, that time earlier people used to face this kind of problem. Okay, now the cloud computing services, what they will give you, that they will give you one entire software development environment. Cloud computing services, it will give you entire software development environment. What kind of software development environment it will put you? It will give you development environment. Means it will give you one window. Suppose in this window, if you want to develop a full stack development environment, you can take PHP, immediately PHP will come. If you want MySQL, immediately it will come. And if you want the Python also as an middleware, that will also come within your window. Not only that, all the compatible version, means that Python version should be compatible with MySQL, that Python version will be compatible with PHP. So this kind of development environment will be created. Okay, after that, if you write some code in PHP, you can compile in PHP, and instead of PHP, if you want to go to and compile it in Ruby, that case you can compile it. If you want to compile it in C, C++, whatever compiler you want, immediately you will get. Not only that, for Python, if the updated version comes, if the updated updation comes, then immediately this updation, immediately its compatible version of MySQL and compatible version of PHP will also come. That means you don't have to bother about for developing a software development, for creating a software development environment. What are the softwares that are needed? It will give you the entire software within your system, and you can just work on it through the cloud computing services. You got it? So so what are the facilities I am getting if I want to make the if I want to cut the long story short? First thing is that I can get the entire IT infrastructure services, means I can create my virtual computer. If I want my network, virtual networking services, that can also I can get. If I want to create a software development environment, that can also I can get. And even not only that, if you want a software which you don't want to purchase because you don't have the money, And if the software is cost huge, suppose the Adobe Creative Cloud means that your Adobe Photoshop for your development, if Adobe Photoshop is required, my dear friend, it is this Zoom meeting will be ended within 10 minutes. So if it ends within 10 minutes, please log in with the same link so that I can finish my lecture. Okay. So what I wanted to say is that if you want to for your development developing a software, you need suppose a cloud Adobe Photoshop, or if you need any other software like any software like some any GIS software which are at least cost around 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs. Now 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs investment is, it is not easy, right? Now what you can do that you can take those softwares as a subscription basis. Means that you can take it for 15 days, or you can take it for 1 month, or you can take it for 2 months, and you have to pay for how much time you have taken it. And if your job is over, you can stop the subscription. You don't have to pay for it. And even they are not going to give you the entire software. What they are going to give, they will give you only the front end of the software. So this is basically the beauty of cloud computing services. Now, out of this, if you have any question, any kind of question, please ask me, and after that, I will go to the next topic. But remember, you have to ask question. If you ask question, and based on your interactiveness and asking the questions, I will give you the number in your internal. Your internal will be based on how much interactive you are. Please ask me question. Any kind of question. You can unmute yourself also, but I need the question regarding cloud or regarding the services of cloud. I am waiting for your question only. Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you, students? Am I audible to you? Okay, so please ask me question regarding this one. Please unmute yourself and ask me any question, and I will be happy. Himanshu, Udit, Sajad, Bero, किसी का अटेंडेंस नहीं मिलेगा अगर तुम क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछोगे तो. Okay, very good. Harshit is asking what are the different platforms available for cloud computing services. Now, what kind of platforms you are talking about regarding that service platform, Harshit? Okay, so for service platform, as I already told, you can create your infrastructure within the cloud services, and that infrastructure-based cloud services is called infrastructure as a service. And if you want to go for creating your software development environment, that kind of cloud computing services is called platform as a service. And if you want to take cloud computing software services as a subscription basis, like this Zoom, which is the entire software. They are not giving it to us. What they are giving? They are giving us the software subscription license only for a few days. So this kind of services are called software as a service. So basically we have three kind of services. One is called IaaS, one is called PaaS, another is called SaaS. So within this, we have different other platforms are also available that I will discuss as and when this entire lecture will progress. At that time, we will discuss this one. Now, another beautiful thing I am telling you that if you want to go for your own startup after passing out from your college, what are the for creating a startup? So how much investment is required? Means that you know how to create a web application, even you know that how to create a website. Now so many companies are there who want their website. Even in Jorhat also, so many small companies are there. They are giving 50,000, 60,000 for creating one website. Now, only creating a website is not cannot be your own only business. So after that, your website is needs to be maintenance also. So for maintenance also, you will be paid in monthly basis. Now, if you want to go for this kind of startup businesses, that case also you need some investment. So what are the investment is required? You need the physical space. Means you have to take one office space within Jorhat and or Dibrugarh, wherever you want to start your business, or even Guwahati. Now, to take a physical space on a rental basis, so it takes a huge amount of money, at least 40,000 or 50,000 per month, right? You need the computers also, because only from a single computer you cannot start your business. If you are starting your business with two friends who are investing money and also four employees are there, now for the four employees you need to set up a computer, and that computer is not your personal computer will work. You have to go for a very high configuration computer, right? You need the network infrastructure also. Yes, Lotha, I will give you. Don't worry, I will give you, but you have to attend from the next day, from the beginning. Okay. Even the Lotha has asked that he needs some introduction about this topic because he could not understand from the beginning. Lotha, I will give you the entire video lectures, recorded lectures to you later on. So don't worry about that one. Okay. So will it be fine for you? Okay, so you need the network infrastructure also. Huh? So network infrastructure means, as already I told, that for your applications, the 5 MB, 10 Mbps जो बोल रहे हो ना, वो बाहर का दुनिया में, if you go abroad or for in case of corporate, these 5 Mbps, 10 Mbps bandwidths are not any bandwidth to them. So this bandwidth doesn't work for them. They need at least 100 Mbps of bandwidth or 1 Gbps of bandwidth. Now, is it possible sitting in Jorhat to create a infrastructure with 1 Mbps, 1 Gbps of bandwidth or 100 Mbps of bandwidth? It is not possible. Even if you invest huge amount of money, you got the entire infrastructure, physical space, computer, network infrastructure, everything you got, and you are running your business every month. You are getting new clients every month. You are getting new businesses. Your businesses is going very fine. But in the next month, there is no project, no client. You are not getting any client. Now you tell me what to do with this huge amount of infrastructure. Those infrastructure which was an asset for you, now it becomes a liability for you, right? Because you have to pay the recurring cost, the monthly network infrastructure cost, जो internet का cost है वो आपको देना पड़ेगा. Even your costly hardware or computers maintenance cost, everything you have to bear. So is it possible for you for a new startup where the investment is very little and you have to depend on your father only, because no angel investor will come to invest their hard-earned money to a newcomer, right? So what is the solution? I'm telling you, cloud computing is the only solution, where you can create your entire infrastructure, not physically, virtually. If you want to create one computer, virtual computer, you can create it. If you want to create 10 virtual computer, you can create it. If you want to create 100 virtual computer, you can create it within 5 minutes.